So I disconnected that piece, and on a lark, I ran the tone arm again and found that it is in fact stuck, even with this piece off, which is completely opposite than what had happened yesterday. So my suspicion is this guy right here is jammed up. So we got him soaking in a little bit of rubbing alcohol, and I'm using little tweezers to like rotate it to try and get as much of that oil out of there as possible. We're going to let this soak overnight, and tomorrow, hopefully, it's going to be good and dried out. I mean, it's 91% rubbing alcohol, so it should dry out overnight. And then tomorrow, we're going to try again and see if this really is the problem. Like, I can't think of anything else that would be causing enough friction to keep the tone arms stuck. So it's got to be, well, it doesn't have to be. It could be something else, but I'm drawing a blank as to what it could be. Now, there is a friction plate on here, and you'd think, Mike, shouldn't you put some grease on the friction plate? And, you would think that. But, that's the underside of the friction plate, and you can see that mark right there. So that mark is where that pin right there makes contact. Now, I put a little bit of grease on there, and I totally forgot what the role of that pin and that friction plate is. So that's intended friction. So when the tone arm is coming back to the tone arm rest, it's not getting slung violently. Yeah, so the friction is to actually slow down the movement as it's coming back and going onto the record. Once it goes down, I believe it's no longer an issue. I believe that because I put white lithium grease and I was still having this problem. But also, I distinctly remember reading on the 0100 has a little rubber button on the top of that pin, and that's what the role of that button does, is to keep the tone arm from being slung back and forth, especially on the return. Holy hell, the white grease on that thing had that tone arm going super fast. So yeah, but anyways, I hope this bearing is the culprit. We're going to let that dry out and get back in it tomorrow.